Hi children and hi everyone. In previous video we discussed about the Gauss law. What is Gauss law and what is importance of Gauss law and how we can derive the Coulomb's law from Gauss law. So up to now you didn't watch that video, just go and watch it. So after watching that particular video only you must be watch this one, then only you can understand the topic, otherwise you are unable to understand this video. So children, I am going to the topic now here. This is one of the most important topic for IPE examinations. So applications of Gauss law. As part of the application of Gauss law, I am explaining that now today here. Electric intensity to an infinite long straight charged wire. See once again, electric field intensity to an infinite long straight charged wire. We have to explain the electric field intensity for a wire, long conductor wire of infinite length. So how we can derive the expression for electric field intensity at a point from the infinite long straight current carrying conductor or wire. So before going to that, you must know about three things. The first thing is what is mean by electric flux and what is mean by Gauss law. What is mean by electric flux and what is mean by Gauss law, and here what is mean by electric field intensity. Electric field intensity. So electric flux means what? The number of electric field lines passes through a closed surface is called electric flux. So here I am taking, this is the closed surface. Closed surface. In that some of the we are taken, this is the area now. I am taking that area is ds. The amount of flux means here nothing but the number of lines, field lines passes through the particular area is called electric flux. The number of field lines passing through the closed surface area is called electric flux. Generally the flux can be shown by the formula pi is equals to closed integral E dot ds. Closed integral E dot ds. That means pi is equals to closed integral EDS cos theta. EDS cos theta. So this is first you have to know about that one. Pi is means what? Flux. Here this is the integral. On that we have one circle is there. That circle can represent the surface what we are taken. That should be a closed surface. Now this is also it is closed surface. Here the flux is a scalar. We are showing that E dot ds. E dot ds. That means what? This dot means what? That is nothing but scalar product. Pi is equals to EDS cos theta. Pi is equals to EDS cos theta. So this is about the electric flux. The first thing is what? Electric flux. Electric flux means that the number of field lines passes through the particular closed surface area is called electric flux. And next thing is how we can represent the flux. Pi is equals to closed integral E dot ds. That means pi is equals to EDS cos theta. By using this equation we are going to find out the electric flux. Clear? And next thing is what is Gauss law. What is Gauss law? Here in previous video I clearly explained about the Gauss law. Here now again this is the one closed surface. Closed surface. The amount of flux passes through the closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times of net charge. Clear? The amount of flux passes this particular surface, closed surface, how much it is? 1 by epsilon naught into net charge. Here Q is the net charge of this particular closed surface. The amount of flux passes through a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times of the net charge, or you can say that the flux should be nothing but we are dividing the net charge of a closed surface by the epsilon naught. What is epsilon naught? Permittivity. What is that? Permittivity in free space. So that is the second thing. Next thing is what is mean by electric field intensity? The amount of force experienced by the charge. The amount of force experienced by the charge in an electric field is called electric field intensity. The force experienced by the charge in particular electric field is called electric field intensity. Okay children, now I am going to the topic here, the electric field intensity to an infinite long straight current carrying conductor. So for that here, so we are taken, this is a one infinite length, so not possible to show the entire length, that's why I am taking here simply this is the one wire of infinite length. That should be having some positive charge. What's that? That should be having some positive charge. Clear? We are taken an infinite long straight current carrying conductor having positive charge, and that conductor is linearly charged, linear charge distribution, linear charge distribution. So in this case you have to observe what is mean by linear charge distribution. Linear charge distribution, that means that here the charge available on the conductor along its length, that should be called linear charge distribution. This is also I explained in previous video. So here we are taking it is a long straight current carrying conductor, long straight current carrying conductor. That should be how the charge is distributed on that, linearly charge distributed. That's why it is having linear charge density. Linear charge density, I already explained in the previous video. Linear charge density should be shown by the like this, lambda is equals to Q by L. What is that? Lambda is equals to Q by L. The charge available in particular length is called linear charge density. So that's why here we are taken now, this is the one, a long straight current carrying conductor of charge density lambda, of charge density lambda. To explain that, here we are constructing one Gaussian surface. We are constructing one Gaussian surface. This is the now Gaussian surface. What is the Gaussian surface? Gaussian surface is nothing but we are imagining the one surface to explain the flux. So the surfaces which are very useful to explain the flux, those should be called as the Gaussian surface, because here now we are using the Gauss law here. So now this is we are taking one cylindrical Gaussian surface. What is that? We are taking one cylindrical Gaussian surface. So here I am taking the length of the Gaussian surface is nothing but here L. And here this is a very long straight current carrying conductor, that's why the electric field should be radially outwards, because it is the positive charge. It is having some positive charge and radially outwards. Electric field is radially outwards. So we are showing like that. Clear? And now here we are selected one point. Here we are selected, this is the one point here. That point is at a distance of R. How much distance? R. At this point we want to find out the electric field intensity. Clear children? Carefully you can observe. Very important question for 8 marks. This is a long straight current carrying conductor. To explain the electric field intensity with respect of this long straight current carrying conductor, we have to take some assumptions. The first thing is the electric field intensity is radially outwards. Radially outwards, because it is a very long length should be there. And next thing, now we have to construct one Gaussian surface, in the surrounding of the conductor as shown in figure. Clear? And what I am telling here, the length of the cylinder should be taken as here L, and electric field intensity is radially outwards. So in this case, here what you have to observe, we are taken this here, I am taking this A, B, C, D. So AB is taken as, I am here nothing but I am writing AB is taken as DS1. This is what? DS1. So DS1 should be, I am showing like this. And this is now DS2. Clear, children? So already what I am telling, that is the linearly charge distributed, that's why lambda is equals to Q by L. This is the equation number 1. And after that, what I am taking here, now you have to take the Gaussian surface having some surfaces like AB and CD. So here surface AB is nothing but I am taking, that is DS1, and surface here CD is equals to DS2. AB is equals to DS1 and CD is equals to DS2. Here from figure what you have to observe, DS1 and DS2 are how they are perpendicular to the E. Clear? What you have to say? From figure what you have to say, DS1 and DS2 how they are perpendicular to the E. Just see here. Now this is the DS1, I am showing this is vertically, and this is what E. How these two are perpendicular? When they are perpendicular, angle is how much? Theta is equals to 90 degrees. That's why here flux passing through DS1 and DS2 is equals to 0. DS1 and DS2 both are perpendicular to the direction of E. That's why here what I am telling, the flux passes through the DS1 and DS2 is 0. Why? Because already what you write, pi 1 I am taking, pi 1 is what? The flux passes through DS1 and DS2. So what you write? Pi is equal to integral E dot ds. That means what? Closed integral E ds. What's that? E ds cos theta. That means here, what is the angle here? Angle is 90 degrees. E ds cos 90. Children, so when it is cos 90 value is what? 0. That's why here the flux passes through this one is here, should be taken as 0. I am taking that equation number 2. This is what? Equation number 2. And this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Children, so already we are taking some Gaussian surface. In that there is no flux passes through the surfaces DS1 and DS2. That's why here the flux will be passes through the, now here just look at here, this is the curved surface we are taken, this is the curved surface now like it is cylinder. So that means here I am drawing separately. So now the flux is passes through the curved surfaces AC and BD should be here like this is what? AC and this is BD. Clear? These curved surfaces, clear? These are should be in the direction of electric field intensity. How they are? The electric field intensity is here like this I am saying. So simply we are showing like this. This also like this. That means here there is, we are selecting some surface, curved surface, what it is? A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D is parallel to the direction of electric field intensity. That's why here I am writing the flux through the curved surface. Flux through the curved surface. curved surface. I am writing that is what? Pi is equals to, I am writing this is pi 2 EDS, that means closed integral EDS cos theta. What I am telling, the curved surface and E both are in same direction. When both are in same direction, what you say? Angle is 0, then cos 0 degrees. Cos 0 E value is 1. That's why here what we get? E into closed integral ds. So then what you get? ES. What's that? Here what I am telling? Pi 2 is equals to ES. Here ES is nothing but surface area of the cylinder. S is nothing but surface area of the cylinder. The formula is what? 2 pi RL. That's why here I am writing pi 2 is equals to E into S. E into S. S means what? 2 pi RL. 2 pi RL. So pi 1 is 0, pi 2 is 2 pi RL. Therefore, pi 1 plus pi 2 is equals to what? Pi. That pi is how much? E 2 pi RL. Therefore, pi is equals to 2 pi RL into E. Pi is equals to 2 pi RL into E. Now this is equation number 3. So, but already we know according to Gauss law. According to Gauss law, what do you write? So, from Gauss law, what do you write? So, children, just I am erasing this one for top part. So, here from Gauss law, what do you write? Pi is equals to what, right? Q by epsilon naught. Pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught is equals to 2 pi RL into E. Q by epsilon is equals to 2 pi RL into E. So from that I am writing now here Q by epsilon naught into 2 pi RL is equals to E. Q by epsilon naught 2 pi R into L. Here into it is there. We are bringing it to this side. Then what do you get? Q by epsilon naught 2 pi R L is equals to E. Already this is our equation for electric field intensity. So from equation 1, look at the word. Look from equation number 1, lambda is equals to Q by L. Q by L means what? Q by L means what? Linear charge density. That's why we are getting now here E is equals to lambda by 2 pi R into epsilon naught. Here this is Q by L means what you have to write? Q by L is lambda. So then what do you get? Lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. This is the expression for electric field intensity at a point P, and that should be distance of R from the infinite long straight wire that should be having some charge. Okay children, this is the information about this one, and this is the application of Gauss law. Again watch carefully here. I am going to explain one more time so to understand very clearly. So while we are watching the video, just don't skip the video, then you can miss some points. That's why you must watch the video without skipping. Okay children, look here. So in this case we have to consider a long straight current carrying conductor. So this is a long straight current carrying conductor that should be having some charge distribution is there. That charge is what it is? Linearly charge distributed. Linearly charge distributed. So for that what you write? Linear charge density is lambda is equals to Q by L, equation number 1. And in this case here it is the very long straight current carrying conductor. That's why here the electric field intensity is radially outwards. Radially outwards. So in this derivation you have to remind 2 points. The one thing is, now first we have to imagine the one Gaussian surface. One Gaussian surface that should be taken as here. What is meant by Gaussian surface? We have to select the one closed surface. We are using the Gauss law. Gauss law means what? The Gauss law is applicable for only closed surfaces. That's why you have to select the one cylindrical Gaussian surface in the surrounding of that long straight current carrying conductor. So here we are taken, this is the point P, that point P is at a distance of R, at a distance of R. So that's why here that point P we have to calculate the electric field intensity. So further, now the Gaussian cylindrical Gaussian surface should be divided into three types here. AB is one and CD is one, and remaining all curved surface should be taken as one surface. So in this case, first thing is here AB is equals to what you take ds1 and CD is equals to ds2. These two are perpendicular to the electric field intensity. These two are perpendicular to the electric field intensity. That's why there is no flux passes through the AB and CD. Clear? So from figure, ds1 and ds2 are perpendicular to E, then pi is equals to what? Theta is equals to what? 90 degrees. Then flux passing through the ds1 and ds2 is 0. Then pi 1 is equals to what, right? Closed integral E dot ds, that is equals to pi E ds cos theta, because flux is the scalar. E ds cos theta. Cos theta instead of theta what you have to write? Cos 90. Cos 90 value is 0. That's why this entire term will be 0. That's why pi 1 is what? The flux passes through the AB and CD will be 0. Next, the flux passes through the curved surface. So now we consider A, B, C, D like this. This is now closed surface. So this is now curved surface we are taken. For that there is flux, because here R and E and both are same directions. That's why here simply what you write? The curved surface must be in the direction of electric field intensity. That's why here we are taking now the flux passes through it is what? Pi 2 is equals to closed integral E or ds. Here E and ds both are in same direction. That's why electric field intensity and curved surface what we are taken both are in same direction. That's why here what you write? Pi 2 is equals to closed integral E ds cos theta. Theta means what? 0. That's why what we write? ES. Here what is S? S is nothing but surface area of the cylindrical surface. That's why here 2 pi RL. 2 pi RL. S value is what here? 2 pi RL, and this is the flux passes through the curved surface, and pi 1 is the flux passes through the ds1 and ds2. If you can add those two, what you get? Again same thing, because pi 1 is 0. Then pi is equals to 2 pi RL into E. Here what is pi? Flux. But according to Gauss law, what you write? Pi is equals to what you write? Q by epsilon naught. From Gauss law, pi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. So I am substituting here pi value is what? Q by epsilon naught. From that what we get? E is equals to Q by 2 pi R into L, that is the E. Here Q by L value is what? Lambda. Then E is equals to lambda by 2 pi R epsilon naught. This is the electric field intensity due to the infinite long straight current carrying conductor, nothing but wire. So this is the one of the best application of the Gauss law, children. So I hope you understand. If you can understand this video, like, share and comment the video, and subscribe to my channel for latest updates. We will meet in the next video with another topic. Bye children, take care.